Right, Coach, after a 4-point opening weekend of MAC play, you go on the road with Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan this week for week two. What's the game plan to kind of continue progressing as a program this week?
Well, certainly we've got two very difficult games coming up this weekend, and playing on the road in this conference is very tough. We try and keep the focus on our team, things that we can do better, how we can improve quality of our soccer, quality of our effort. Try not to get too caught up in the opponent. If we feel like if we can do the things that we need to do and take care of our own business, then the results will be there for us.
Obviously, soccer's a funny game in terms of, how results don't necessarily match what is going on the field. But early on in the season, results were, giving up a couple of goals a game. Lately, 4 shutouts, last 5 outings. What have you seen in terms of progress out of that back line and just the team's commitment to defense and shutting teams down?
Well, I just think that we're getting better, and we've gotten healthy. I mean, those are the two biggest factors in terms of our improving defense. We had to make some changes very early on in the year to the way that we were playing that we weren't anticipating having to make, but they were sort of personnel driven. So it took a little while to make those adjustments and get reorganized, but I feel like we've made good progress with it. I still think our best soccer is yet to be played, and we'll look for continued improvement.
To that end, what kind of areas are you looking to kind of improve on this week? You mentioned a couple of things, after Akron and after Buffalo in terms of, services and being finer in the attacking third.
Well, the thing that we've really been working on most recently has been our defending in the middle with our midfielders, and I think that's gotten better, and I think that showed up this weekend. We've got to get better in the final third as well. We're still letting far too many chances go unfinished. The quality of our service wasn't very good against Akron. That has to improve. You're never good enough in any aspect of the game. I mean, let's be honest. But those are the two things that sort of jump to mind when I look at our team.
Looking back at the non-conference that you scheduled going in terms of getting the team prepared for Mid-American Conference play, how much do you see that play out, last weekend with a couple of tight MAC contests, and how much do you see that helping going forward, especially with this first road trip?
MAC games are different. They're just different. And I suspect it's this way in every single conference. Your non-conference games, you go into them with a little different, MO, so to speak. Your goals are maybe a little bit different. Probably the kids are a little bit more relaxed in non-conference games, even if it's a very good team that you're playing. And man, you get into conference play, and it is just a death match every single game. It's just all out. Everybody is competing at 110%, and it's just relentless soccer. And you've got to be prepared to accept the game on those terms and win the game on those terms.
For the course of a long season, and we saw a little bit of it coming into play on Sunday against Buffalo, the depth and the waves of players coming off of the bench to contribute. How big of a factor can that be down the stretch as you get deeper and deeper in the season?
It's absolutely huge, and you can't give enough credit to Madison Knock, Colette Jeslowski, really any of the kids that came in the game off the bench, who really helped turn the game for us and save the game for us. There's no question in my mind that we wouldn't have won the game had it not been for the contributions of our bench in either of the games this weekend. So it's huge.
Well, last question on Reagan Flex specifically has kind of been growing and gaining more and more experience as a center back. What have you seen out of how she's progressed from day one to now to really grow into, a pretty heavily relied upon player in that back line?
Oh, Reagan's terrific. We knew that when we recruited her. I've always been a huge Reagan Fleck fan. The thing that I really like about Reagan, and honestly the reason that we recruited her, was because of her leadership and her ability to organize a defense. Certainly there are some things when it comes to one-on-one defending that I'd like to see Reagan do a little bit better, but we're working on those. But her voice back there means everything to us, and it's the reason we recruited her.
All right, Reagan, week 2 of MAC play. Yeah, got out of week 1 with 4 out of 6 points. What's the team's confidence like going into week 2, going to Central and Eastern?
I think our confidence is definitely up. Coming off of this win of Buffalo is huge for us, and our confidence is now a lot larger than what it was, and I think we're ready to take on these 2 games.
You, among several of your classmates in this freshman group, have seen a lot of minutes and really increasingly seeing more as the year goes on. What's everybody's kind of comfort level like as they're growing into their roles, you included in as a center back?
I think with more minutes, anything like more confidence is going to come. Every minute I'm out there, I'm going to get more comfortable. And I think just for myself, I feel that way definitely, especially with these past 2 games this weekend, on Sunday especially, just being out there and being able to play those minutes, kind of take on a little bit more of a communication role is really helpful. And I think that more communication and more confidence will come with more time.
And what's been kind of the key that you've noticed is how, as far as how the communications developed? I mean, early in the season, you were giving up a couple of goals a game. I believe it's now 4 shutouts your last 5 outings.
Yeah, the past 2 weeks we had an off weekend, and we really focused on the communication between the backline midfielders and our keeper. And I think it showed in our games this weekend that we got a lot better at it. And it's really helpful with Vic back there, who's just screaming and really talking to us. And now that we have communication going through the midfield, our positioning's a lot better, and I think we're just able to stop the other team's attack a lot higher up the field. So it's really helping out the back line.
On the road this weekend, Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan, what's kind of the game plan to take another step forward as a program this week?
Well, coming this weekend, it's MAC games. And MAC games are always really tough, no matter what team you play. Every team's good. But our team likes to fight, and we're competitors, so we're going to go out there and compete and hopefully come home with 2 wins.
Thank you.